this is my first Star Wars celebration. And I get to be here, not just a fan, but on this stage for the first time while we introduce Rogue One, which is the first Star Wars standalone story. Why Gareth Edwards? I know it's a bit embarrassing because he's sitting here, but why did you choose him to direct this film?
Why Gareth Edwards? No, seriously, it's funny, when the cameras were swinging around, I saw our DP, Greg. Where are you? Right there. And Greg and Gareth were actually amazing to watch because Gareth made this decision based on a style that he uses with the movies he makes, where he puts the camera on his shoulder for just about every shot. And that really sort of gave us the sense of what the style of the movie might be, and more importantly, it's a style that is unlike any other Star Wars movie. And the whole time we were making the movie, I would often walk onto the set, I'd be like, where's Gareth? And then I'd see him with this huge camera on his shoulder, off in the middle of the shot, doing another angle, finding some incredible way to immerse us inside the movie. And I think that's what is so amazing about his style, is this is going to be an incredibly immersive experience when you see Rogue One.
It seems like it really enhances our experience of the world. And Gareth, please can you tell me about your personal connection to Star Wars and what it means to you, obviously not just professionally, but personally, to be a fan and direct this film?
I mean, I think I'm probably a lot like everybody in this audience in that I watched A New Hope every day growing up until that Betamax tape was completely worn out. And if you told me that one day I'd get to direct this film, I'd never have believed you. Like, I sort of think in some parallel world, I'm out there watching me on stage, very jealous, saying, shut up, you idiot, I should be doing that. And it's just been the most insane, most surreal experience you could ever have. Every day, just when you think you've had the craziest day in your life, the next day tops it.
Was there a particularly memorable day for you?
There's a million. I guess on one occasion, we were filming, I was with Felicity, and we're in the middle of a shot, and someone just nudged me and said, pointed at this guy in the corner and said, do you want to meet Luke Skywalker? And I looked over and there was Mark Hamill. Oh. And I went over to him and he was wearing a Godzilla t-shirt, which is the film I made before. And I was like, you know when you go up to someone, you're so much in awe of them. I don't know what I said to him. I was trying to be articulate and intelligent, and I don't know what came out. And he was being really sweet and complimentary. And all I was thinking, as he was talking to me, I was just looking in my peripheral vision going, please, Lord, someone be taking a photograph of this. Like, no one's going to believe that I met Luke Skywalker. And the problem with this film is you can't talk about it. You can't tell your friends, you can't tell your family anything. And all I wanted to do was go home and go, I met Luke Skywalker. And everyone's like, how was work? And you're like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, fine. Fine. Internally, met Luke Skywalker. How was your day? How was the supermarket? All right? Yeah, fine. And there's all sorts of new environments as well, aren't there?
Absolutely.
Gareth, please, can you tell us a bit about those?
Yeah, my favorite one, probably, because it meant we got to go to the Maldives, is a planet...
Which was like a trick that you played on us.
Sometimes you got to take one. Sometimes you got to take one for the team, haven't you? And it's a planet called Scarif. And we were going for realism throughout the film, and so we tried to go to real locations. Just so happened it was set in this paradise world. We had to go to paradise to film it. It was a nightmare.
It's tough, yeah, it's a tough life.
And it's funny, because all the guys you see in this picture, this is the Maldivian army. And as we're filming it, we're thinking, God, it's so cool. Imagine being these guys, and they must be so excited. And at the end, you go up to them, you say, so that was cool, right? You got to be stormtroopers. And they're like, what? You got to be stormtroopers, isn't it? And you go, you know Star Wars? No? And you're going, you know Star Wars? You know stormtroopers? And they're like, no. And you go, do you know what any of this is? And they're like, no. I mean, like, do you feel really stupid? And they're like, yes. So they're going to have a surprise when these billboards turn up in the Maldives for them.
Introducing Diego Luna. Riz Ahmed. And essential to any good Star Wars film is a good villain, a compelling, iconic villain. Star Wars fans, as director Krennic, Ben Mendelsohn. So there is some important business, particularly for Felicity Jones. Felicity, last year I had the incredibly surreal experience of being made into a Star Wars action figure. And today, I would like to welcome you to the club because...
Goodness.
Here is your Jyn Erso action figure.
Oh my goodness. Thank you very, very much. I feel very privileged to have joined the Star Wars doll universe.
This is actually the very first toy being revealed from Rogue One. It's not as good as mine, but you know, it's great nonetheless.
I don't know, she's got a pretty cool Han Solo gun belt.
Woo!
Oh, yeah. Inspired by Han Solo.
So Felicity, from what I've heard about your character, she's been compared to incredible heroines like Joan of Arc, which of course I love. And fans also compare this new hero to their favorite Star Wars heroes as well. How is Jyn unique or different to other Star Wars characters?
I feel there's one major difference between Jyn Erso and other Star Wars heroes, Rey and Luke. And that main difference would be that Jyn, she's not a character who's asking, who am I and where have I come from? She very much, we know that about her. We know where she's come from. And that fact is what propels the story and is the beginning of Jyn's journey to find out what her reason is and her course.
Mm-hmm. And she's had a very full life before we meet her, unlike other Star Wars heroes. Obviously,
absolutely.
No hero can go it alone. Diego, can you please tell us a little bit about Cassian?
Definitely. Hi, everyone. I just want to say I've been waiting for this night for quite a long time. This is actually what got me into the project, the chance to share this energy. It's fantastic. So, yes, I play Cassian Andor, Captain Cassian Andor. And he works for the Rebellion, for intelligence, and the team starts being just the two of them, Jyn and Cassian, but as the story continues, the team grows. And like any team, there's frictions, there's issues, and it's Cassian who has to keep them together. And one of the most important members of this team is a droid, an Imperial droid that is reprogrammed by the Rebellion, and his name is K2SO. And he's probably the best friend Cassian has in the Rebellion, or the only one.
And I think that's the first time we're hearing that information. That is a Star Wars special for you.
Oh, was it?
Yes! Woo!
Cool. I hope I was allowed.
You were totally allowed. It's fine, you're okay.
I feel
you're
better
okay.
now.
Of course, no Star Wars story could exist without a droid, and in Rogue One we meet K2SO, played by Alan Tudyk. Alan, woo! 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 Alan, you are a man of many talents. You're an actor, you're a voiceover artist, and you've actually played a robot before as well. Can you tell us a little bit about what it's like being a droid in a Star Wars film?
It's pretty, there we go. Is it yours that's doing it? Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Here we go. Oh, look at this. So that's him, right there. We were in Jordan. This was great. That's what I look like. That's before the CGI, which is exciting. I'm 7'1" in black, which is really my inner person. There you kind of saw my suit on there from the back. Yeah, that's how I look. But look, she gives him her pack, and he doesn't really. That's K2. Like he doesn't, you know, go get the bags, droid. No. I'd rather not. That's not my thing. Because Cassian reprogrammed him, and he did like a data wipe. And when he reprogrammed him, he's not quite all there. He speaks his mind and says things that, I don't know, can be unsettling and just very honest. If you know any old people, it's like that. It's whatever it is. And it was great. It was great to play him. There's amazing droids in the Star Wars universe. C-3PO.
Did you get to meet him? Did you get to meet Anthony Daniels?
I met him at the party. There was a new. What was yours called?
My one was called The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. So good. You should check it out. Really good, guys. Totally see that movie. It's really good. I met him at that party at the opening night, and I said, "I'm K2SO. I'm going to be the next droid in this series of droids, I guess." And he said, "Do you wear a suit, or are you CGI?" And "Oh, I'm CGI." He said, "You shoot." Lovely man. We're pen pals. Pen pals to this day. Yeah, because the first C-3PO, they screwed him into the suit, and anyway, he wears a suit, obviously.
And I heard a story about something about you in the Maldives, possibly with an animal.
I tamed a lion. Is that the story that someone knows?
No, you were on a boat. You were on a boat in the Maldives. I believe it featured Diego and Felicity.
Yeah, but we didn't go naked to swim with weird animals. It was just you.
That was in your mind.
I thought you were naked.
I was wearing something. But yes, there was a
That's how you like to spend your time, isn't it? Just
the water
swimming naked with wild animals.
Yeah, there was a whale shark. Which, if you know what a whale shark is, it's great to be able to see one in your lifetime. To swim with one is even better. They look like they're huge. They're the biggest shark, and they have spots and they're gorgeous. And so I swam with her. I named her Karen, and again a pen pal to this day.
Yeah, good. Getting pen pals aplenty from the Star Wars universe. And there was also something exciting that happened at a tube station, Gareth. Is this true?
Oh, yeah. Actually, my first job ever in television was just around the corner from where we are right now. And I used to pass it every day and go through the Docklands, the DLR, and all these train stations and think, this is like something from the future. This is like a sci-fi movie. If I ever get to do a sci-fi film in my life, I'm gonna film it here. And then I parked that thought, and then one day when we're trying to figure out how to do these really long shots that involve a lot of running and building big, massive sets, and we were trying to be clever about it, I was like, oh, let's just film it at the Docklands. It looks futuristic. And everyone's like, ha, 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 yeah, very funny. Anyway, how are we going to really do this? And then eventually the art department got really imaginative, and we did this secret mission where we went to Canary Wharf one night, and no one was allowed to tell anyone because we didn't want anyone finding out. And so as soon as that thing closed at midnight and you saw these guys with suits getting the last train and walking past. As soon as they'd gone, we all dived in. We had 4 hours. They had to set dress the whole thing, bring all the stuff in. They'd rehearsed it before. And we shot the scenes. And we shot all the scenes, and then we had to be out of there by 4 a.m. And we were like, we got the last one just in time. And as we left, everything had disappeared, and they opened the doors, and all these guys in suits came in, and we were like, morning, morning. and you so desperately want to tell them as you walk past, morning, morning, morning. We just shot Star Wars. Like, he was a stormtrooper.
And that's only 2 tube stops away from here.
I knew this might come up today, so I counted as 4.
Is it 4?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start the pilgrimage now. Back to our amazing cast, Riz. Woo! Your acting career has included roles in acclaimed indie films like Four Lions, woo! The Reluctant Fundamentalist, Nightcrawler, and the new HBO show, The Night Of. What attracted you to this film? Why a Star Wars movie?
I thought, just like to kind of change it up, it'd be good to do a film that other people have seen, apart from just that one guy that was shouting. Thank you for your custom. I mean, who doesn't want to do these films? I mean, they attract the best talent across the board, and also Alan. It's just an amazing world to be a part of, you know? So yeah, no, just really wanted to be a part of it. And obviously I've seen kind of Gareth's work and just found it super exciting, so.
And we know also that we have a reprogrammed Imperial droid. Riz, I have noticed in photos of your character, Bodhi, he's wearing an Imperial patch. So what's going on there?
Yeah, well, I can talk about this, can't I? A little bit?
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah. Well, you know, Bodhi,
Okay, that's it.
Bodhi is a pilot, and he works for the Empire, you know, to earn a living. And like, you know, people work at big organizations, they don't agree with everything they do. But you gotta...
He's maybe...
You don't have to get judgy.
He's maybe questioning.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
He's kind of questioning things, and the planet that he is, the city that he is from, is actually an occupied planet, and it's the actions of the Empire and the stuff that he's forced to be involved with over there that kind of makes him question his career counselor.
And Bodhi's home is also where we meet Donnie and Zhang's characters. Woo! Baze and Chirrut. Gareth, can you tell us about Jeddah?
Yeah. Jeddah's, I guess the easiest way to explain it is obviously our film takes place in a time where there are allegedly no Jedi remaining, but people still believe in the Force, and they still have that spirituality. And essentially, Jeddah's like, I guess, like the Mecca of Star Wars, in that people go on pilgrimages, and the problem is right now is when the story begins is it's an occupied territory by the Empire, and we get sucked into a story that involves these wonderful people to the side here.
And two of the most important characters we meet in Jeddah are Chirrut and Baze. They become crucial to the team and are played by Donnie Yen and Zhang Wen. Donnie, what can you tell us about Chirrut?
I just want to say hi, everybody. I'm Donnie. May the Force be with all of you. I play a blind warrior who lives in the planet Jeddah. I can't see, but I can feel with my heart and believe in the spiritual of the Force. And obviously, me and Zhang Wen, we're the baddest fighter from Jeddah. And me and Jan, his character Baze, we are very good friends. And that's about the story. I'm about to tell, right? That's it.
You don't.
I
No,
can't say too much, right?
You
It's
don't
under
look at me.
my
Look at
contract,
Kathy.
right?
Yeah. Maybe it's time for Jang to tell us about Bays.
He's right. He's certainly right. Sorry, my English is very limited. I come from Beijing, and well, thank you. Thank you. What I say about this character, I have to say, Bays has a gun. Am I wrong? He has a gun. He has a huge gun. He has a weapon. The weapon is very huge. Is that right?
I've heard it's right.
Is it really right? Okay. So, he and me was a partner, and he believed, of course, in force, but my character don't believe force at that time. But I pretend all of them, no, just them, to do very, very big mission. I cannot say that. And when this guy dead, I do something better. Maybe I believe by my action. He's thinker and doer. So
I think you've got to leave it there.
Anyway,
I think you've got to leave it there.
Anyway, I have a gun.
Yeah.
I have a gun.
A big gun.
It's
big
a great gun. Huge, huge gun.
Gun is place.
Woo! Forrest.
Sorry, I'm limited.
Forrest, we've learned a lot about your... Woo! Woo! We've learned a lot about your character's deeper connection in the Star Wars galaxy. How does he connect to this band of misfits? I think we can definitely call them misfits.
Good to see you all. Saw Gerrera is a rebel fighter. He's been fighting for years against the Imperial occupation. He's a guerrilla fighter. He has been controlling a group of rebels that are out to the extreme. We're talking about that there's a series of different rebel groups that are coming together as an alliance, and all of these people are different parts of that. I'm leading my group, which by any means necessary, he'll do what he needs to do in order to save the world. He was trained as a guerrilla fighter, and then he was trained by the Jedi as well.
And Saw was originally revealed as an animated character, a character that originated with George Lucas.
Well, yeah. I mean, when Gareth introduced me to the character, I was amazed, and I went back and started to look and see the series, The Clone Wars, and really understand what was going on with that. And so that's how I was introduced, and he's been integrated in working with Jen and everyone to make things move forward.
Thank you. Gareth, for you as a filmmaker and as a fan, what was it like for you bringing to life a character created by George Lucas? Did you meet George Lucas? Did he come on set, or...?
Well, one Friday I got a phone call off John Schwartz, who's one of the producers on the film here. He calls me up and goes, "Guess who's going to visit on Monday?" And I was like, "I don't know." And he's like, "Have a guess." All right. I just sarcastically went, "George Lucas?" And he went, "Yeah." I was like, "Shit." And so I spent the whole weekend just crapping myself about this. And was very surprised because he is the nicest guy. He's got an amazing sense of humor. And we were showing him around all the stuff, and it's the honest, I challenge anyone to have a more surreal experience than showing a Star Wars film to George Lucas for the first time. It is right up there. And we were, and he'd start criticizing stuff, and you'd get really nervous, and oh God, oh God, oh God. And then he'd make a joke at the end, you realize he's being sarcastic. And there'd be this massive relief, but we were all having heart attacks. We were like, he's got this really like dry sense of humor, which is, I normally love, but I was like riding this roller coaster.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, I want to take a moment to say, like, none of this would be happening if it wasn't for George Lucas. The guy's a genius.
There is a theme, a pattern of fathers in Star Wars films. Fathers' identities and their relationships with their children. Mads, we now have confirmation. Woo! Woo! We now have confirmation that your character, Galen Erso, is Jin's father. What else can you tell us?
That's it. No, honestly, as you know, there's a lot of secrecy around the whole thing for good reasons. My character is a person of interest. A lot of things are revolving around him, so it would be like kind of a big spoiler to say too much. But can I say that he's a scientist, and he at one point invented something so beautiful, so fantastic that it might change the universe. That's all I can say. And then I can say, I'm in a Star Wars film. I'm very proud.
Okay, Star Wars fans, I'm bringing him back to the stage. Please welcome Mr. Ben Mendelsohn. I just had to take advantage of that moment, sorry. Welcome back to the stage.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be back.
And what was that about?
Well, I would love to answer your questions, but I have been in communication with the Emperor, and the sizzle that we started to see earlier is now back on board. So, you can have me soliloquy, or we can have the sizzle.
Okay, so I've got to ask you, I think we want to know a little bit about Director Krennic, don't we? Yeah? Ben, what can you tell? Ben? Ben, it's here for you.
Oh, my bad.
Do you want to?
Yes, that's quite correct.
So I've heard that Krennic is a different kind of Imperial villain.
Right. Yes, he is. He's an Australian kind. We do villainy very well. He is smarter, I think, than most of his predecessors. He's more inventive. He's perhaps a little sexier than some of them. Not quite as sexy as some of the others.
Oh, darling. Darling, thanks.
That's all I've got.
Okay. It was enough for me. Didn't you do something to Gareth's assistant?
It's a lot of people to tell that to. I wished him a very happy birthday, is what I did, and I believe he had a very, very memorable birthday indeed. I yelled at the boy, yelled at him, but it was under direction from Sir.
Okay. Well, let's just leave that there.
Yes, I think so.
It was cruelty that was invited.
It was necessary.
Okay. I don't think we can talk about Star Wars villains without bringing up one name in particular. We do have confirmation that Darth Vader is in Rogue One. Gareth, what can you say about that? Gareth, can you give me a little hint, a tease about Darth Vader being in Rogue One?
I guess I got I got a very early Christmas present. We finished filming in December, and I got straight on a plane to New York to do a voiceover recording with a gentleman called James Earl Jones. Now, I can't tell you what role he plays in the film because I don't want to give that away. But what's really funny is I went there with Matt Wood from Skywalker Sound, and we were doing, yeah, and we're all being very professional. And the way that ADR works is obviously they got their back to you, they're watching the screen, and they're doing the lines, and then he'd turn around and ask you if that was okay. So every time he'd do a line, and I don't want to give anything away, but there was one point where, and we're all like, yes, hi James, yeah, this is great, you're doing really well, yes, thank you. And then he does this one line where he says the word power. And we just both looked at each other and had this nerdgasm. And we were like reduced to 3-year-olds. And then suddenly he looked back and we suddenly went, that was great, James, if we could just do that one more time, thank you.
That's amazing.